1984, Kenya, the Safari Rally. Bjorn Waldegard crossed the finish line in his Celica twin-cam turbo with 326 horsepower spinning to the rear wheels, only while four-wheel drive monsters from Audi broke down in the dust. The winning margin measured in hours, not seconds. That Celica ran 5,190 kilometers through conditions that ate 71 starters and spit out 20 finishers. The engine, a modified 4T GT turbocharged unit rated at 380 horsepower by season's end, drove through a rear-wheel drive layout when competitors had already committed to all-wheel systems. Waldegard took the lead in the third leg and held it through mud sections where the roads turned to rivers. In the final leg, one rear shock absorber issue, nothing else mechanically failed across the entire distance. Group B regulations demanded 200 road-going homologation units. Toyota Team Europe built exactly 200, then engineered 20 rally-spec evolutionary versions, with the 2.1-liter turbocharged four-cylinder that became one of the most powerful rear-drive rally engines ever constructed. Through sand with equal violence. African rallies suited this setup. Heat management separated winners from retirements. The Celica's cooling system used larger air intakes and a specially designed colored bumper, an air outlet bulge in the hood, and a timing belt cooling duct that kept temperatures survivable when ambient heat pushed past 40 degrees Celsius. The Safari Rallies, 1984, saw heavy rains turn notorious roads worse. Only reliable machines finished. The Celica twin-cam turbo took first and second that year. 1985 brought another Safari victory with Juha Kankkunen driving. Then 1986 delivered a third consecutive Safari win when Waldegard returned to set a new record of 18 World Rally Championship victories total across his career. Between 1984 and 1986, the Celica swept 3 Safari rallies and 3 Ivory Coast rallies clean. 6 African victories in 3 years earned it the title King of Africa. The 4,014-kilometer course in 1986 saw only 16 of 69 starters complete the event. Waldegard led from the first half of the first leg, despite a few mechanical issues, and held position through 5 days of racing from March 29 through April 2nd. Lars-Erik Torf came second in another Toyota after running steady without serious trouble from the opening leg. The winning car carried that 326 horsepower 4T GT engine with strengthened body, suspension, and differential, in the same core package that dominated across every African round it entered. Group B ended at the close of 1986 following multiple fatal crashes that season. The governing body scrapped the category entirely and introduced stricter Group A regulations to limit performance by tying cars closer to production platforms. Now pause on that moment. 1986, project cancelled, Group B dead. Toyota Team Europe didn't sit idle. The 222D project had been running since 1984 under absolute secrecy, code name only. Based loosely on the first-generation MR2 that hit production that same year, the 222D targeted the new Group S regulations announced by FISA in 1985 as a replacement for Group B, starting in 1987. Group S required only 10 cars for homologation instead of 200, a prototype class meant to encourage innovation. The 222D used a mid-engine layout with all-wheel drive. Initial prototypes ran a 1.6-liter four-cylinder with rear-wheel drive. Later versions mounted a turbocharged 2.0-liter engine producing 600 horsepower with power switchable between all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive via a cockpit control. Some sources report 750 horsepower from the race-developed Toyota 503E inline-4 engine used in certain prototypes. The car weighed 750 kilograms. Cologne, Germany, and Toyota. Team Europe's homologation records held at FISA archives, not just press releases or general rally histories. These are internal engineering specifications and competition logs that show exactly what Toyota built and how it performed under measurement. Now back to the information. Remained interchangeable. The mid-mounted engine sat longitudinally in some prototypes, transversely in others. One prototype used rear-wheel drive for tarmac stages, another used all-wheel drive with an X-Track custom gearbox for gravel stages. The turbocharged engines displaced 2.0 to 2.2 liters depending on variant, either the 4T GTE from the forthcoming Celica GT4 or the 503E race engine. Turbo boost pressure adjusted via a hand wheel in the cockpit between 1.3 and 1.5 bar. Cross-drilled ventilated brake discs on all 4 corners with brake balance adjustable from the cockpit during stages. Double wishbone suspension up front, 5-link rear setup, anti-roll bars. The exposed manual transmission linkage visible inside the cockpit. Testing in Japan and Europe led to tweaks in engine placement, suspension tuning, tire sizing. Target completion date set for December 1985. Then September 1985 arrived. FISA scrapped Group S entirely before it ever took effect. Multiple Group B fatalities that season pushed the governing body to abandon the supercar prototype philosophy and enforced production-based Group A rules instead. The announcement killed the project. At least 2 prototypes survive. One black kept at Toyota Motorsport GmbH headquarters in Cologne, one white displayed at the Toyota Mega Web showroom in Tokyo. The black 202D appeared at the 2006 Goodwood Festival of Speed and the 2016 Eiffel Rally Festival. John Day, curator of the black prototype, described it bluntly. "They are awful. It is absolutely not drivable. It just does what it wants to do. 3-second turbo lag. No electronic management for 600 horsepower." 1990 changed everything. Carlos Sainz won 4 rallies that season and claimed the WRC driver's title, Toyota's first World Rally Champion. The ST165 won 13 full WRC events total. Sainz took his second driver's title in 1992. For 1993, the ST185 wore new Castrol livery in green and red. Toyota switched from Pirelli to Michelin tires, improving performance significantly. Juha Kankkunen won the 1993 Drivers' Championship, while Toyota secured the manufacturer's title, the team's first. 1994 continued the dominance. Didier Auriol became the first French driver to win the WRC title, while Toyota took a second consecutive manufacturer's championship. The ST185 racked up 16 full WRC victories. Driver championships went to Sainz in 1992, Kankkunen in 1993, Auriol in 1994. The ST185 became Toyota's most successful rally car for over 2 decades. 3 different gearboxes existed for ST185 models. The JDM-only GT4 Rally variant sold without air conditioning, power windows, or power antenna to save weight. Toyota Team Europe pioneered anti-lag boost technology, a system that kept the turbo spooled even off throttle by igniting fuel in the exhaust manifold, eliminating lag, but creating distinctive backfire sounds that other teams later adopted. This final works-engineered Celica rally car employed a further evolution of the 3S GTE, producing up to 300 horsepower in rally prep. The 2500 homologation specials included plumbing for anti-lag, aluminum hood and front quarter panels to save weight, 4-channel ABS, an improved CT20B turbocharger, super strut suspension, a water spray bar for the front intercooler. 0 to 60 took 9 seconds with a top speed of 153 miles per hour in street trim. ST165, ST185, and ST205, not generic rally histories. These are the actual technical specification sheets submitted to the governing body, showing displacement measurements, power curves, weight distributions that Toyota presented for competition approval. Now back to the information. Group A regulations mandated a fixed restrictor diameter to limit air intake and power. Toyota Team Europe had engineered a spring-loaded mounting system allowing the restrictor to be bypassed without disturbing scrutineering tags. FIA President Max Mosley called it the most sophisticated and ingenious device I have seen in 30 years of motorsport. The governing body excluded Toyota Team Europe from the remainder of 1995 and banned them entirely from competing in 1996. Despite the scandal, the ST205 achieved the highest podium percentage, 25.6% relative to starts. Private teams ran ST205s in 1996 and 1997 WRC seasons, most notably HF Grifone from Italy. Toyota's factory WRC participation ended in 1999. The break lasted until 2017 when Toyota returned as Toyota Gazoo Racing with the Yaris. The Dakar Rally. 13 Hilux pickups completed the inaugural 1979 Paris-Dakar Rally out of 74 total finishers. Private entrants chose the Hilux for rugged design suited to extreme conditions. Through the 1980s and 1990s, privateer teams used the Hilux in Dakar, frequently achieving top 10 finishes thanks to inherent reliability. The Hilux earned the nickname Indestructible, a reputation built on consistent survival rates even when stock or lightly modified. Privateers drove evolution of Hilux modifications focused on reinforced chassis, suspension systems, and turbocharging diesel engines for improved torque in sand. Place overall, the best finish for a petrol engine car in 3 years despite complying with production-based regulations. The team achieved top 10 finishes every subsequent year. By 2018, the Hilux claimed 2 podium positions, including second for Nasser Al-Attiyah and third for Guignol de Villiers. The breakthrough came in 2019. Al-Attiyah and co-driver Mathieu Baumel dominated Peruvian stages to secure Toyota's first overall Dakar victory. Al-Attiyah, born December 21, 1970 in Doha, Qatar, won bronze in men's skeet shooting at the 2012 Summer Olympics. He claimed 18 Middle East Rally Championships and 65 race wins starting in 2003. His Dakar debut came in 2004 with Mitsubishi, finishing 10th. He won Dakar in 2011 with Volkswagen, 2015 with Mini, then 2019 with Toyota. Mathieu Baumel partnered with Al-Attiyah from 2019 to 2023, earning recognition as one of Rally Raid's elite navigators through proficiency in roadbook interpretation. Their collaboration yielded 5 major titles, including 3 Dakar wins, 2019, 2022, 2023, plus 2 World Rally Raid Championship crowns in 2022 and 2023. Baumel's precise guidance enabled recoveries from navigational challenges on complex dune and desert stages, including 4 706 kilometers of timed stages. Al-Attiyah and Baumel took the lead in Stage 3 and never relinquished position. When their GR DKR Hilux T1 Plus crossed the finish line in Dammam on January 15, 2023, their winning margin measured 1 hour 20 minutes 49 seconds. The terrain proved particularly tough. 4 Toyota Hilux T1 Plus cars finished in the top 5. The GR DKR Hilux T1 Plus was powered by a twin-turbo petrol V6 of 3, 5 liters from the Land Cruiser 300, the V35A FTS unit delivering 264 kilowatts, 354 horsepower, and 620 newton-meters of torque through a Sadev 6-speed sequential transmission. Independent double wishbone suspension tuned for high-speed desert traversal while adhering to FIA regulations. The 2023 Dakar Rally saw Al-Attiyah and Baumel claim their 3rd victory together, again finishing ahead of 9-time World Rally champion Sebastian Loeb. Al-Attiyah became the only Arab to win Dakar on Arab soil, and his 5 total Dakar victories made him the only Middle Easterner to win the competition more than once. He defended his World Rally Raid Championship title. Ahead of 2024, Al-Attiyah left Toyota to partner with Loeb at ProDrive, then Dacia. Seth Quintero brought prodigious pace to the factory program. The 2025 Dakar Rally delivered a significant milestone. Yazid Al-Raji, a Saudi privateer competing with Overdrive Racing in a Toyota Hilux, claimed overall victory on January 17, 2025, marking the first win for a Saudi driver on home soil. His success stemmed from tactical decisions, such as deliberately sacrificing the lead on Stage 10 to conserve resources. The Overdrive Racing Hilux represented separate development from factory entries. No other manufacturer in the cars category can claim continuous finishes across all editions. The reliability narrative remained consistent. Whether driven by privateers with minimal modifications or piloted by factory teams with million-dollar budgets, the Hilux platform proved capable of absorbing punishment that destroyed more specialized machinery. The French legend won with Mitsubishi in 2004, 2005, and 2007, then Mini in 2012, 2013, and 2021, and Peugeot in 2016 and 2017. He also won the bikes category 6 times. Trailing Peter Hansel's 8 car victories are Al-Attiyah with 5 wins and Carlos Sainz Sr. with 4 wins. 2010, 2018, 2020, 2024. Mitsubishi's Pajero Evolution claimed 12 overall Dakar victories between 1985 and 2007. Audi entered Dakar recently with the electrified RS-Q e-tron, securing Sainz Sr.'s 2024 victory. Since 2020, the rally has been held in the Arabian Peninsula after decades in Africa and South America. The Cancunin and Sainz era of Castrol-liveried Silicas wrote rally history with 3 manufacturers' titles and 4 drivers' championships between 1988 and 1999. Toyota Team Europe introduced hydroelectronic differentials first. They pioneered anti-lag boost technology that other teams running turbocharged engines later adopted. Innovation came from Toyota, even when results didn't always follow. The 222D represented innovation that history killed. If Henri Toivonen had gone on to become a multiple world champion instead of the Corsica tragedy in 1986, perhaps there wouldn't have been a break between the Desert Queens and the GT4. Perhaps Toyota Team Europe would have shown up for the 1988 Monte Carlo Rally with the 222D mid-engine monster. Perhaps Cancunin and Waldegard would have spent 18 more months developing the car. The technology of the 1980s simply wasn't there. All Group B had was power and downforce. There was no turbo management, so although the 503E engine made 600 horsepower, there was no control of it. It worked in 2019 when Al-Attiyah and Baumel dominated. It worked in 2022 when they won by over an hour. It worked in 2023 when 4 Hilux trucks finished in the top 5. It worked in 2025 when Yazid Al-Raji became the first Saudi to win Dakar on home soil. 43 consecutive Dakar rallies with a Toyota finisher. Reliability built that record, not the fastest top speed. Reliability. The twin-turbocharged 3.5-liter V6 from the Land Cruiser 300 delivers 354 horsepower and 620 newton-meters through a Sadev 6-speed sequential. The tubular space frame measures 4,810 millimeters long, 2,300 millimeters wide, 890 millimeters tall. Independent double wishbone suspension tuned for high-speed desert traversal. Ground clearance sufficient to clear obstacles. Fortified chassis with enhanced safety features protecting occupants during rollovers. The cooling systems represented engineering challenges unique to desert racing. Ambient temperatures often exceeded 40 degrees Celsius. The cooling package needed to reject heat from the engine, transmission, differential, turbochargers, intercooler, and air conditioning system, keeping occupants functional across stages lasting hours. Navigation equipment evolved dramatically. Early Dakar entries used paper maps and compasses. Modern Rally Raid uses electronic roadbooks displayed on screens, GPS navigation with precise waypoints, trip computers, multiple backup systems, and communications equipment. Co-drivers read the roadbook in real time, calling navigation instructions while updating position and watching for hazards. Baumel's proficiency proved crucial to Alatia's success. Elite co-drivers separate winning teams from also-rans as much as driver skill. This self-sufficiency requirement means vehicle reliability becomes paramount. The Toyota Gazoo Racing Hilux reliability allowed crews to focus on performance optimization during bivouac maintenance rather than emergency repairs. Dehydration, fatigue, and heat exhaustion affect decision-making. The cockpit temperature often exceeds 40 degrees Celsius despite air conditioning. After finishing a stage, drivers and co-drivers must immediately begin preparations for the next day before getting a few hours of sleep. But Dakar requires more than driving skill. It requires strategic thinking about pace management across multi-day events. The fastest stage time doesn't always represent the smartest approach. Sometimes, finishing with a healthy car proves wiser than extracting maximum pace and risking breakdown. Alatia mastered this balance. He rarely crashed. He rarely broke vehicles. He finished races. He won championships. The 2025 victory by Al Raji validated that the Hilux platform remained competitive without Alatia driving. Al Raji deliberately sacrificed the lead on stage 10, a strategic decision proving that intelligence matters as much as speed. His overdrive, Racing Hilux, represented separate development from factory cars, demonstrating the platform's competitiveness across preparation levels. The WCT engineering Hilux, developed for affordable privateer access, proved competitive enough for teams with limited budgets. This democratization of performance contrasted with factory-dominated eras, where private teams couldn't realistically challenge works entries. The twin-cam turbo beat all-wheel drive competitors in Africa by being simpler and more reliable. The Celica GT4 won 3 drivers' championships by finishing consistently, even when not always fastest. The Hilux wins Dakar by surviving when others break. Critics argue this represents conservative engineering lacking innovation. Supporters counter that championships reward finishing, not pioneering. Toyota innovated when necessary: anti-lag systems, hydroelectronic differentials, the 222D prototype. But Toyota prioritized proven solutions over cutting-edge risk when given the choice. The economic justification depends on marketing value and technology transfer to production vehicles. Toyota leverages Dakar success to promote the Hilux's durability reputation globally. The association between competition success and production vehicle reliability drives sales. Customers buying Hilux trucks for work appreciate knowing the platform's fundamental design can survive Dakar. Lessons learned about suspension durability, cooling efficiency, electronic robustness, and material performance inform production vehicle engineering. Testing components in Dakar provides data impossible to gather through conventional programs. The accelerated wear rates and extreme parameters reveal weaknesses that might take years to appear in normal use. Engineers apply these insights to improve production vehicle durability. The cultural aspect matters too. Toyota's corporate culture emphasizes continuous improvement, the Kaizen philosophy of incremental advances over time. Rally competition embodies this approach. Each race provides data. Engineers analyze results. Small improvements follow. Testing validates changes. The next race incorporates improvements. Success comes from accumulating small advantages rather than revolutionary breakthroughs. This methodology produced the ST-185's 16 WRC victories through steady development. It produced the Hilux's 4 Dakar wins in 5 years through incremental optimization. Competitors seeking breakthrough performance through radical changes sometimes gain advantages but often suffer reliability issues. Alatia and Baumel's partnership clicked because they communicated effectively, trusted each other completely, and complemented strengths. Their 5 major titles together proved the value of stable partnerships. When Alatia left Toyota for Dacia, the partnership ended. Successful rally campaigns depend on dozens of people: drivers, co-drivers, engineers, mechanics, logistics coordinators, team management. Toyota's ability to build and maintain effective teams contributes to competition success as much as vehicle performance. Models. And it didn't beat Supercars. It beat other purpose-built Rally Raid prototypes. The correct framing asks why Toyota's Rally Raid platform proved more consistently successful than competitors over the past decade. The answer centers on reliability achieved through methodical engineering, incremental improvement, and prioritizing survival over peak performance. Toyota builds vehicles that finish. Finishing consistently wins championships. The 222D sits in Cologne to this day. 3-second turbo lag, 600 horsepower with no electronic management. The car that never was. Group S canceled before taking effect. Engineers moved to the Celica GT4 instead. The decision proved correct. The ST165, ST185, and ST205 delivered actual championships, while the 222D would have remained experimental. Toyota chose proven technology over cutting-edge risk. They chose evolutionary development over revolutionary design. They chose reliability over maximum performance. Those choices delivered 3 WRC manufacturers' titles, 4 WRC drivers' championships, and 4 Dakar Rally victories. Perfect attendance spanning amateur privateers to factory prototype efforts. The platform evolved from basic modification of production trucks to million-dollar space frame prototypes, but the fundamental characteristic persisted. Durability under conditions that destroy lesser machines. That reputation built over decades translated to competition success. The first Saudi to win Dakar on home soil. The victory demonstrated that the Hilux platform's competitiveness extended beyond factory support. SVR Hallspeed in South Africa produces the GR-DKR Hilux bodies. Overdrive Racing prepares their own Hilux. WCT Engineering develops an affordable privateer Hilux. 3 distinct preparation levels, all competitive enough for podium results. This accessibility strengthens the Hilux's position by building a larger base of competitive entries promoting Toyota's brand. The Celica GT4 won championships by finishing consistently, not by being fastest. The Hilux wins Dakar by surviving, not by posting the quickest stage times. This pattern repeats because it matches Toyota's capabilities. The engineers building race cars come from the same culture that designs production vehicles to run 300,000 kilometers with proper maintenance. That mindset shapes decision-making at every level. When faced with the choice between maximum horsepower and reliable horsepower, Toyota historically chose reliable. When faced with exotic materials versus proven materials, Toyota chose proven. When faced with cutting-edge technology versus tested technology, Toyota chose tested. These choices cost them some outright speed. Competitors with more powerful engines or more advanced electronics sometimes posted faster stage times. But Toyota finished more often. Finishing more often leads to championship points. Championship points lead to titles. The broader Toyota motorsport portfolio includes WRC with the Yaris Rally 1, World Endurance Championship with the GR Zazus 10 Hybrid, Super GT in Japan, and various national programs. This diverse involvement serves multiple purposes: marketing presence across different regions, technology development, brand building through competition success. The budget allocation reflects strategic priorities. WRC receives substantial investment because of global championship visibility. Dakar receives substantial investment because of marketing value and unique engineering challenges. Each program justifies itself through specific benefits to Toyota's broader business objectives. Electric rally raid prototypes exist, including Audi's RSQ e-tron using electric drive with a small combustion engine as range extender. Toyota's hydrogen combustion programs in Super Taikyu endurance racing and the hydrogen-powered GR Corolla race car represent alternative approaches. Whether rallying continues with combustion engines, shifts to hybrid power, or transitions to electric or hydrogen remains uncertain. The regulatory framework will determine feasible technologies. Toyota positions itself to compete regardless through diverse powertrain development programs. The GR-DKR Hilux's mid-mounted engine provided inherent balance, but engineers adjusted fuel tank locations, battery placement, spare tire mounting, and equipment positioning to optimize handling. As fuel burned during stages, weight distribution shifted. The suspension settings had to accommodate this change without compromising handling. Cross-linked hydraulic suspensions helped by transferring load between wheels as needed, maintaining optimal tire contact pressure regardless of chassis attitude. Teams must balance wear rates, puncture risk, weight, and performance across stages with mixed terrain. BF Goodrich supplies tires to most competitors, but teams specify construction details and compounds within available options. Running too low pressure improves flotation, but risks the tire rolling off the rim during sharp turns. Running too high pressure improves high-speed stability, but reduces grip in sand. Crews adjust pressures throughout stages as terrain changes. Teams set their cars at or near that minimum, using suspension compression to absorb impacts rather than extra ride height. The approach worked because the massive suspension travel, over 300 millimeters in some cases, meant the chassis could move vertically significantly, while keeping the differential and exhaust system clear of obstacles. Radiators used maximum surface area within packaging constraints, ducting directed airflow efficiently. Electric fans provided supplemental cooling at low speeds. The intercooler needed a water spray system to reduce intake air temperatures when ambient heat compromised the heat exchanger's efficiency. All of this added weight and complexity, but prevented overheating-related mechanical failures that ended many competitors' races. Heat management separated winners from retirements consistently across Dakar history. Co-drivers read the road book in real time, while simultaneously updating position information and watching for hazards. The workload demands intense concentration across hours of competition. Mistakes cost time. Missing a waypoint triggers penalties. Taking a wrong turn can add kilometers or lead into impassable terrain. He delivered a strong performance at the 2019 Al Ula Neom cross-country rally, winning his first ever rally podium. He competed in the 2020 Dakar Rally, completing the world's toughest race, with Al Attiyah finishing second that year. Alonso's participation brought mainstream attention to Rally Raid, but his results demonstrated the vast skill gap between circuit racing and navigating open desert at race pace across multi-day events. The discipline required different instincts, different preparation, different mental endurance. Alonso respected that difference publicly. Dehydration, fatigue, and heat exhaustion affect decision-making. Drivers must maintain concentration while navigating at speeds where mistakes cause serious accidents. Co-drivers simultaneously read navigation, watch for hazards, track competitors, manage communications, and monitor vehicle systems. The cockpit temperature often exceeds 40 degrees Celsius despite air conditioning. Dust infiltrates the cabin, coating everything. The noise level from the engine, transmission, and tires on gravel makes communication difficult, even with intercom systems. The cumulative fatigue across 2 weeks of competition tests mental resilience as much as physical strength. Sleep deprivation compounds decision-making challenges. Maintaining focus when exhausted separates champions from competitors who fade in the final stages. Al Attiyah's consistent performance across multiple Dakar campaigns demonstrated exceptional physical conditioning and mental toughness required to win at the highest level. The scandal of 1995 broke the cycle temporarily. The air restrictor bypass device represented the opposite philosophy, seeking performance advantage through rule circumvention rather than through engineering excellence within the rules. The governing body's response eliminated Toyota from top-level WRC competition for critical years. The program didn't return to the championship until 2017, an 18-year gap. During that time, Toyota participated in other racing disciplines, including Le Mans prototypes and Super GT in Japan, but the absence from WRC damaged the brand's rally credibility. The Dakar program helped restore that credibility starting in 2012, building slowly through top 10 finishes until the breakthrough 2019 victory. The 1979 Hilux entries were essentially stock trucks with minor modifications, reinforced suspension, basic navigation equipment, extra fuel capacity, protective plating under the chassis. That was enough to finish Paris-Dakar in an era when simply completing the event represented achievement. By the 1990s, privateer Hilux entries used turbocharged diesel engines, heavily modified suspension, stripped interiors, roll cages, professional navigation systems, and significant weight reduction. They competed in production-based classes, but barely resembled stock trucks. The tubular space frame chassis shared nothing with production trucks except the nameplate and general silhouette. The mid-mounted twin-turbo V6 from the Land Cruiser represented the most advanced power plant Toyota ever raced in Dakar competition. That V35A FTS engine deserves examination. Displacement of 3.5 liters, twin turbochargers, direct injection, variable valve timing. Designed originally for the Land Cruiser 300 series production vehicle, then adapted for competition use, prevents getting stuck. The independent double wishbone suspension front and rear provided wheel travel measured in hundreds of millimeters, allowing the chassis to absorb massive impacts without transmitting full force to occupants or braking components. The dampers alone cost tens of thousands of dollars each. Custom valved units capable of controlling suspension movement across speeds ranging from walking pace over rock gardens to over 200 kilometers per hour across flat desert sections. The Land Cruiser similarly earned legendary durability status. These reputations don't emerge from marketing alone. They reflect genuine engineering priorities in design and manufacturing. Using proven materials and conservative specifications ensures components survive beyond their design life. Designing for ease of maintenance and repair extends vehicle longevity. Building in durability margins means components don't operate at their limits where failures occur. This philosophy delivered results, measured in championships across decades. The next race incorporates those improvements. Success comes from accumulating small advantages rather than revolutionary breakthroughs. This methodology produced the ST185's 16 WRC victories through steady development of the same basic platform across multiple seasons. It produced the Hilux's 4 Dakar wins in 5 years through incremental optimization of the GR DKR platform rather than radical redesigns. Competitors seeking breakthrough performance through radical changes sometimes gain temporary advantages, but often suffer reliability issues that eliminate them from contention. Toyota's methodical approach delivers consistent competitive pace with superior reliability, a combination that wins championships. The human relationships within teams influence results beyond technical factors alone. Alatia and Baumel's partnership clicked because they communicated effectively under extreme pressure, trusted each other completely in life-threatening situations, and complemented each other's strengths perfectly. Alatia's aggressive but controlled driving style matched Baumel's precise navigation and calm demeanor under pressure flawlessly. Their 5 major titles together, 3 Dakar wins and 2 World Rally Raid Championships, proved the value of stable driver and co-driver partnerships built over years of competition together. When Alatia left Toyota for Dacia, the partnership ended abruptly. The results suffered initially as both adapted to new teammates and new vehicles in unfamiliar team environments. Successful rally campaigns depend on dozens of people working together seamlessly. Drivers, co-drivers, engineers, mechanics, logistics coordinators, team management, support staff. Toyota's ability to build and maintain effective teams over extended periods contributes to competition success as much as vehicle performance specifications do. The fastest doesn't always win. The most innovative doesn't always win. The most reliable wins by being there at the finish when others aren't.